Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jeff here at Suzuka, where we're witnessing what can only be described as the most extraordinary pre-race saga in motorsport history. Daniel Bourne, the Ferrari factory driver, has literally turned his 296 GT3 into a mobile bed and breakfast. The paddock's been absolutely gobsmacked as Bourne emerges each morning from what he's dubbed Karma Car Face in Ferrari red silk pajamas, conducting meditation sessions and brewing espresso next to the pit box. And just when you thought it couldn't get more bizarre, Chris Rogers, ever the gentleman, attempted to restore sanity with a proper cuppa, only to discover Bourne had installed fairy lights and a memory foam mattress. The Ferrari team principal looks like he's aged 10 years in a week, especially after Bourne's press conference, where he claimed the car prefers jazz and feels objectified by Arthur Dent's spreadsheets. In all my years of commentary, I've seen drivers crack under pressure, but this is the first time I've witnessed someone trying to register a racing car as their primary residence. And they're off! The lights go out at Suzuka as Deepecker leads from Brown with our residential racing driver, Bourne, starting from 16th position. Drama already! Carcax won and Houtzinger in the gravel. Bourne somehow threads through the chaos. Oh my word! Dent swoops past Bourne at turn 1. The analytical wonderkid showing no mercy to our temporary track resident. Bourne's defending like a man possessed in the S's, and I can hardly believe what I'm hearing on the radio. He's actually reciting feng shui principles while swerving in what he calls the sacred pattern of the prancing horse. The Ferrari pit wall looks absolutely mortified as Bourne continues his spiritual defense, claiming the positive energy flow will protect his racing line. Even the normally unflappable Japanese fans are looking utterly bewildered by this display of automotive mysticism.
Absolutely fascinating defensive driving from Bourne here. He's managing to keep the car balanced despite what must be quite unusual weight distribution. The Ferrari's handling characteristics seem remarkably good, considering its unique modifications.
Absolute scenes at Dunlop as Bourne attempts to overtake Dent. The radio exchange is extraordinary. Bourne's voice crackles through. Karma Carface and I are exercising our squatters' rights on this racing line, to which Dent responds with ice-cold precision. My algorithm suggests your sleep-deprived overtaking attempt has a 0.47% success probability. The entire commentary box is in stitches. This is turning into less of a race and more of a bizarre reality show between the car-dwelling mystic and the human calculator. The Ferrari pit crew are hiding their faces in their hands while Dent's engineer is frantically checking if there's an algorithm for dealing with potentially unhinged competitors.
The psychological warfare between these two couldn't be more different. Bourne's mysticism versus Dent's pure mathematics.
Fur's gone deep into the chicane. Touch it seats. Perhaps he's distracted by the wafting smell of Bourne's in-car espresso machine. These drivers are showing signs of being thoroughly unsettled by this morning's extraordinary pre-race antics.
That's the problem with distractions in motorsport. Fur's usually much more composed through that technical section.
Bourne's gone completely wide at turn 1, and I must say, as someone who's witnessed the evolution of motorsport over decades, this has to be the most peculiar approach to securing a race seat I've ever seen. The Ferrari mechanics are watching in horror as their GT3 car, now equipped with what appears to be a full bedroom set, struggles for grip. You have to wonder if the extra weight of Bourne's collection of silk pajamas and meditation crystals is affecting the car's balance. The paddock is buzzing with rumors that Arthur Dent's spreadsheets might actually be the more conventional approach to racing, despite Bourne's insistence that his spiritual connection with Karma Carface will prevail. The Ferrari team principal hasn't been seen for hours, presumably hiding in a dark room, questioning every life decision that led to this moment. They're side by side through the chicane! Weller spins out. Absolute chaos in the chicane as cars scatter everywhere. Heart-stopping moments. Dent sideswipes Bourne. The analytical driver. Bourne backs off. And oh my goodness, listen to this! Dent's voice cuts through the radio with surgical precision. My data analysis shows your sleeping heart rate in Karma Carface was 2.3% less efficient than a standard hotel room would have been. Perhaps you should have consulted my spreadsheet on optimal driver rest conditions before converting a GT3 car into an Airbnb. The paddock is absolutely erupting. This battle between Bourne's spiritual racing approach and Dent's cold hard data is turning into the most extraordinary subplot of the season. The Ferrari pit wall looks like they're considering early retirement. Chris Rogers, ever the professional, is making excellent progress in 6th position, a stark contrast to the chaos behind. Rogers loses it. Contact. Rogers slams straight into Cragnar's. Absolute disaster. Rogers recovers, but drops to 10th, and I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. Bourne's pit board has been transformed into some sort of hotel review system, complete with hearts and star ratings. The distraction proved too much for Rogers, who was clearly trying to decipher Bourne's latest motivational quote while navigating that tricky corner.
What a shame for Rogers. He's usually so composed. This incident really shows how the unusual atmosphere in the paddock is affecting everyone's concentration levels today.
Bourne remains in 13th position, and the tension is palpable. The Ferrari pit crew are anxiously watching their driver, who's been muttering something about Karma Carface's chakra alignment over the radio. Meanwhile, Dent's engineer is frantically updating his probability matrices to account for what he calls unprecedented driver behavior variables. The paddock hasn't seen anything like this since Senna claimed he saw God at Suzuka, though I doubt even the great Ayrton ever installed mood lighting in his cockpit. Bourne's hunting down Dent ahead, the residential racer closing the gap to his analytical rival. Dent runs wide. His calculations seem to have failed him. Bourne strikes. He's through past Dent. Karma Carface's spiritual energy paying dividends. Haltzinger seizes his chance as Bourne dawdles into the hairpin, perhaps distracted by his in-car feng shui. Haltzinger slips through on the inside as Bourne generously leaves the door wide open. Bourne's not giving up without a fight, his determination matching the intensity of his morning meditation sessions. Haltzinger's made it stick, and what a battle that was. Bourne's unorthodox racing style, influenced by his week-long residency in Karma Carface, proved no match for Haltzinger's conventional approach. The Ferrari pit wall appears to be in silent prayer, while Bourne's engineer is desperately trying to translate feng shui principles into racing lines. This has to be the most unique interpretation of defensive driving I've ever witnessed in my commentary career, and I've seen some bizarre things in my time.
Watching this battle unfold has been absolutely mesmerizing. Haltzinger demonstrated textbook racecraft there, taking full advantage of Bourne's rather unconventional racing line. You can see how the extra weight from Bourne's home comforts is affecting the Ferrari's braking performance. It's washing wide on corner entry. The team's decision to allow this unique living arrangement might need some serious review after today's performance. Though I must say, Bourne's commitment to his alternative racing philosophy is nothing if not entertaining.
I can barely contain myself as Bourne unveils his latest defensive masterpiece. Those crayon sketches of Karma Carface's daily mood ratings fluttering in his rear window are causing absolute havoc with Dent's analytical mind. I can hear Dent muttering over the radio. Error! Error! Emotional variables exceeding computational capacity. It's psychological warfare of the most unconventional kind. The Ferrari team principal has resorted to stress-eating paninis, while Bourne's engineer attempts to calculate the downforce impact of silk pajamas. This is either genius or madness, and I'm not entirely sure which.
The psychological impact of Bourne's unorthodox tactics is fascinating to watch. While it's clearly throwing Dent off his usual analytical rhythm, it's also compromising Bourne's own race pace. These aren't the kind of variables they teach you about in racing school. I suppose this is what happens when you prioritize bedroom aesthetics over aerodynamics.
Haltzinger charges past Hansen for 11th, a brilliant move, while everyone else is distracted by Bourne's artistic rear window display.
Brilliant, opportunistic move by Haltzinger. He's keeping his head while others lose theirs. That's the mark of a seasoned racer.
Haltzinger and Hansen battling wheel to wheel into 130R. Hansen yields the position, a wise decision given the chaos we've seen today. These drivers are clearly on edge after witnessing Bourne's unconventional approach to driver accommodation.
This Smart defensive driving from Hansen there. In these conditions, with the unusual psychological atmosphere in the paddock, sometimes discretion really is the better part of valor. He's thinking about the long game.
Dent powers past Bourne on the straight. The analytics finally finding a way past the mobile bedroom. Bourne's lost it. He's rammed straight into Dent, the Ferrari driver, completely ignoring his rival's existence. Catastrophe! Both cars spinning wildly. Bourne's beloved Karma car face beaches itself in the gravel. The scene is absolute chaos. Bourne's wailing, "How dare you damage Karma car face's feng shui," while wrapping his car in a comfort blanket. And now he's serenading his damaged Ferrari with what he claims is its favorite lullaby. Dormire, mia bella Ferrari, sotto le stelle in pista, which roughly translates to "Sleep, my beautiful Ferrari, under the stars on the track." The paddock is stunned into silence, save for Dent's furious typing as he downloads crash data. This has to be the most surreal moment in motorsport history. Bourne limps into the pits, still singing to his damaged Ferrari. The mechanics are frozen in disbelief as he insists they must respect Karma car face's healing process. The pit crew are attempting to repair actual damage while Bourne sprinkles what appears to be blessed racing oil around the pit box. Brown takes the checkered flag, a masterful drive while chaos reigned behind. Spectacular victory at Suzuka. Bourne crosses the line in 21st, his mobile home experiment ending in disappointment. Rogers salvages 8th place, a remarkable recovery drive from the British veteran, maintaining composure despite the day's extraordinary events. Dent finishes 15th, his algorithms thoroughly confounded by today's bizarre events.
A day where conventional racing wisdom went out the window. Dent's data-driven approach completely undone by Bourne's unconventional tactics.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in all my years of commentary, I've never witnessed anything quite like this. Bourne's attempt to become one with his Ferrari by literally living in it has certainly made for unforgettable television. The paddock will be talking about this for years to come. Join us next week to see if Bourne decides to convert his car into a proper 2-bedroom flat. This is Jeff signing off from what has been the most surreal race in modern motorsport history.